And through our research, we really found that there were 5 enabling conditions for people to be able to feel confident and comfortable and able to share how they felt about the workplace, how they felt about the practices and policies that were being implemented, that they could look at that power dynamic and relationship aspect of the work and say, I can talk to these people and that my voice will be heard and that I do have power in the organization. So we talk about shifting the narrative. And so with that first enabling condition, the idea is to remember that the people who are doing the work are the people who have the answer to the work. They're the people who are experts in understanding, delivering, and implementing what needs to happen. They're the contributors to success. We've heard a lot lately about our second enabling condition, which is psychological safety. The reality is we wouldn't still be talking about it so much if it was happening everywhere that we were and in all the companies that we were working in. It's really important to do team checks and vertical checks and horizontal checks that people feel comfortable sharing ideas, raising concerns, taking risks, knowing that they're not going to be punished, that they're not going to be dismissed, but that they have the opportunity to raise questions. Psychological safety doesn't mean agreeing with everything that your boss says. We talk about authentic and executive and management buy-in, and that the idea is that everybody at every level of an organization needs to believe that these things are true, that the employee needs to be centered. So a CEO may say it and a frontline employee might say it, but if everybody in between that hierarchical structure doesn't believe that employee voice is center to the culture and to change, then it's not going to happen. We talk about listening for understanding. I think that there was some conversation earlier about this idea that, I mentioned the idea of curious questions. Go into a conversation and ask with true curiosity, listen, hear, and don't go into the conversation with all the answers, but try to understand what is truly being said. Try to understand how people are really experiencing the work. And the last piece is this idea about following through on commitments, that if you implement a survey, if you have a focus group, if you have some interviews and you learn some information, it's really essential that you report back what you hear. And if you can't support what's being asked of you, letting people know why. When you get the information and you don't report back, we actually know that culture erodes. So if you're going to survey, if you're going to focus group, if you're going to have one-on-one conversations, make sure you follow up with the company and let people know across the organization what you've learned and what's going to happen. The last thing I'll say is that these aspects are not check boxes. They are slow change. They are culture change, and it takes time and it takes revisiting. It's not going to be a one and done. So I encourage you to think about the one small next step you can take and revisiting frequently.